Thank you, sir.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rob. I'm here with Rich today, and we're going to talk about Symphony's AI strategy.
So the strategy is, like Dietmar just mentioned, it's fundamentally built and follows Symphony's security, compliance, and control plane that always underpins everything we've done for the last 10, 12 years. We are now extending it because we know that AI deployments need a safe, scalable, and flexible place to govern identity. And we think this is where we serve a very unique position in the market. We have a global connected 600,000 plus regulated financial users in our network, and extending that to agents that go cross-firm is a great way to extend your AI investments. We at Symphony already do this. We have over 2,000 chatbots, so deterministic chatbots, on the network already. 2/3 of our users interact with one of those every single day. So how do we level those up and make them agentic is what we'll show you today. And Jeremy is my demo runner, so here we go.
All right. So just to recap, so Symphony's strategy has two main pillars. The first is our out-of-the-box products, something we're calling Symphony Insights. And just to recap what that is, that's the tools that allow you to unlock intelligence and user efficiency. We showed some of that at the last Innovate. Jeremy, if we've got the messaging analytics product up there, we showed this. This is the product with some test data from back in February. And what this allows our clients to do is to analyze communications at a macro scale, extract topics, and see how those topics have changed in those conversations over time. But what we've done more recently is we've added a conversation view to this. So this allows us, or allows the supervisors to look in a little bit more detail into those conversations. So if we click on one of those conversations, we can see a summary here that gives us the overall sentiment of the conversation, a summary of what was being discussed, and those topics that we extracted as part of that kind of macro view that we were looking at. So that's part of our first pillar, the Symphony Insights, and we also do things like the room summarization as part of that product. The second pillar that we have is how we allow our customers to deploy their custom solutions. So we're going to do this in two parts. Firstly, we're going to go through the Agent Studio, which you think of as the sort of command center where you set these things up. And then we're going to walk through a real use case so you can see how it works in a live environment.
Cool. So I'm going to take you through our secure AI command center, known as the AI Agent Studio. So this is where you can take your assets and bring them to the Symphony marketplace. Symphony, it's running in an extension app, so it's in the marketplace like you would see with traditional extension apps in Symphony. That means you can select who has access to this, as well as who has access to the agents that are created from it. For today's demo, you see there's a number of agents up there. We're going to go through Richie Industries. I'm Rich, Richie Rich. So that's my, my little special agent. And if we click into it, you'll see governance is front and foremost. It's who owns it, who has the right to do anything with it, is it public, is it private, and pretty much everything that you need to control what is being seen in the network. If we click on Edit, we can take a look at some of the settings beyond that. Just if we scroll down, you'll see model choice. So every agent, good agent needs some inference, and it needs a language model. We have a great relationship with Google. So we provide out-of-the-box Gemini models that you can access if you don't have an inference platform yourself. If you wanted to bring your own private model, you could. So towards the bottom, self-hosted. This is redirected, and all the credentials are being managed by Symphony on your behalf. Or if you're connected to your own, you manage them. Regardless of which way you connect to your language model, we are not capturing any of your data. We're not training anything. Nothing's getting used. So it's entirely within your governance framework. If we go down a little more, you've got the system-level instructions and some variables that are Symphony-specific. These are great, helps you get going. You can decide how much of this you want to build in Symphony, or you can bring in your own services if you needed to. So if we go down a little more, I'll show you how that works. We'll look at the permissions first. This is what the agent is allowed to do. There's a new permission that we're introducing called Get User Messages. We've never had an on behalf of mechanism before to pull content out, but agents need to understand where they're working, and this is how you're able to do that, and you permission it on a per agent, then per user. So a user gets an agent installed, the user's agent is then able to see that user's content. If we go below that, we have a number of Symphony-based tools. So Symphony Message ML, if you're a developer, you know historically there's some quirks. So there's some tooling to help ease that burden. And there's a TradingView tool there. Our relationship with TradingView goes back a good number of years. Lots of market data there, and we embed that, and you'll see that shortly in the demo. But the more important thing is you've probably built something with AI already. You have some kind of agent, you have some services, and we're fully interoperable with MCP servers. So if you have a server that you've wrapped some intelligence somewhere else, you can expose that here. And back at that system prompt, you could decide how much of the logic you want in Symphony, or if you just want to hand over identity and context and let your MCP service run the processing, you could. You've also got out-of-the-box third-party like Confluence, Salesforce, some of the generic standards in the industry. We've got two highlighted, OmniGraph and Sentinel. Those are our dummy for today's demo. You can imagine this being some services in-house, OmniGraph maybe a knowledge graph, and Sentinel being maybe a regulatory compliance checker. But I think I've talked enough. So maybe we save this, and I'll hand it back to you.
OK, yeah. So thanks, Rich. So remember, the Agent Studio is the configuration tool. It's something that will be permissioned for people like admins and developers, not really the everyday user. It's the agents that you build there that the end users really care about. So now let's talk about that end user experience.
Yeah, so we talked about enabling and creating an agent and giving that agent an identity or a persona on Symphony's front end. You can talk to that agent directly like you would a regular chatbot, or we are introducing a side panel that sits in context of an existing chat room that allows that agent to see what's going on in the conversation. And it means that you, as a user, don't need to switch around different rooms and look for your agent and be able to talk to it intelligently and in context. So let's see how that works.
Yeah, let's get into it. So in this example, we're going to be in the world of wealth management. And imagine that I am an advisor. And as an advisor, I spend a lot of my time talking to my clients. And a lot of my clients are on WhatsApp. So I'm going to use our Federation product to be talking to my clients on WhatsApp. So if we bring up one of those chats now, we can have a look at them. And this is a chat with my client, Rachel. We've been talking backwards and forwards, all stuff that you have seen before on Symphony. But down at the bottom there, you can see that she's asking me a question about the gold market. Now, I'm not an expert on the gold market, so I'm going to need some help. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch that agent that Rich just showed us by clicking on that sparkly icon up the top there, and that's going to open up this side panel. So this is that private AI panel that Rich was just talking about. So as that agent woke up, you can see it's suggested a few things that I might like to ask it. But we know we're going to ask about gold. So Jeremy, if you can just ask it to give us some ideas about the gold market. And hopefully I can get smart really quickly.
And you'll see the thinking that the agent is running through is coming on screen. It's being logged and recorded for compliance and audit. So the context of what was being sent to the system prompt going to the LLM responses back. Any thinking that may have been documented comes alongside that. And you'll see here as well, if we scroll down just a little bit, this is the TradingView widget. So it's embedded real-time live for Rob here to be able to see what's going on with the market. None of what's on this right-hand panel is visible to Rachel. So she can't see this, but this is fully embedded in using TradingView's MCP. So back to you, Rob.
So there we have it. So I've got my talking points now, so I can be smart about the gold market, and I can see that chart, as Rich mentioned. And so if you, again, at the bottom, you can see that this agent has actually suggested that I might want to draft a message for my client. And given I'm really busy and also quite lazy, we should go ahead and do that. So Jeremy, can you ask it to draft that message for us? There we go.
Yeah, so it's going to go away and think again. And this agent's been set up for a human-in-the-loop checkpoint. So it's drafted a message, and it's grabbed the context correctly. It's got Rachel there as an addressee for the message. It's also converted the trading view chart into a PNG. It knows that Rachel is not on Symphony natively. She's on WhatsApp, and it's able to convert it to a media that she is able to receive. Again, nothing goes without the expert saying so. Expert, what do you think?
Oh, yeah, looks good to me. So, yeah, I think we should send this. So I like to be in the loop and know what's going on, but Jeremy, can we send this one to Rachel? So, this was set up as a human-in-the-loop process, but you can imagine agents also being able to automatically respond in certain cases. But the real breakthrough, I think, here is that I got smart really fast and serviced my customer really quickly.
Yeah, the real technological breakthrough is that we finally made him look really smart. Jokes aside, though, honestly, just to do a little quick recap, this is quite quick. So the first thing we showed you is how to wrap an identity on Symphony around your language model or provide it intelligence from resources that you've built in-house. We've shown you how to connect those tools with MCP. And then we showed you how to use and actually interact with that agent in the side panel there, but it could be direct. And you could see a future where humans are talking to these agents directly as well. I would also add that, as Dietmar had mentioned, the A2A market is growing. There's A2A as a protocol, ACP. One of the things that I've definitely seen, we talked to a lot of clients, and I've seen this recently at Google Next, there's still a small gap between the identity for externalization of that workflow. So when you have an agent talking to a human, you want controls. But when you have an agent talking to an agent in your own company, you have implicit kind of identity and approvals that those agents can talk to each other. You wouldn't have set up the connection. When you want an agent to talk to someone externally, that's when it gets more tricky. What is it that they're saying? What are they allowed to do? You are governed by different rules. Within Symphony, we already have the human-to-human controls to say sensitive data doesn't leak. But with this model, when you put an agent on the same rail, the same controls apply. So the response that an agent is sending to another agent goes through the same ethical walls. It goes through the same DLP controls. You won't be leaking anything when you do this externally. And we really think that this is the key thing that the industry needs, is that external AI safeguarding. And we've already got out of the box. It's our bread and butter.
And there's many uses of this in the industry. We showed you the wealth management use case, but you can imagine this in the operations world, where it's been used to resolve cases more quickly in the front office around getting traders and salespeople access to trade history and other intelligence. Agents can even proactively suggest ideas. Since they're able to listen into the user's conversations, they can surface information when people need it. And as Rich said, we expect to see a world where agents at one firm are talking to agents at another. Our focus is to make sure all these scenarios are catered for so that you can grow your AI capabilities and leverage your investment in Symphony. We provide that secure infrastructure. We give you the full controls, the audit trails, and the guardrails to do it.
The studio is ready to pilot. We're already engaged with several customers. This is something that we're looking to expand. So if you're interested in securing your AI and exposing it safely through our network, please get in touch with us. We'd love to talk to you.